All right, welcome back, robotics students. You can see on my screen here, I've finished up from the last tutorial programming all my different motors, sensors, and different components that we installed on our Swervebot. Just one quick note, in the last video, I put the switches, the right and left switch, in ports 7 and 8 in the video. It's actually supposed to be digital 6 and digital 7. So if you were following along with me and you copied my incorrect detail, just double check here. You should have digital 6 and digital 7 with your right and left switches, not 7 and 8. All right. So if you've got that all correct, we're going to go ahead and do a file save as now. Remember, we said this was going to be our master file. We are going to use this kind of template to get us started with every bit of code that we write for the Swervebot. So I'm going to go up to File. I'm going to click on Save As, all right, and this time I'm going to call this program I'm writing Swervebot 1. This is going to be my first Swervebot code, and you can see it's going into my robotics folder. So I'm going to click on Save. All right, so I've still got that master file out there. I can open that up when I want to do my next code, but I'm just going to call this Swervebot 1 and save it in here. And we're actually not going to start with, excuse me, writing our natural language code. We're going to start off with that bit of pseudocode that I passed back to you. So I just did 2 slash marks on my screen, and you can see that turned green. After those slash marks, anything I write in green is code that's just for human eyes. The robot's not going to read this stuff in green. So I've got my pseudocode next to me. I'm going to go ahead and copy it down. When I switch the bot on, I want the bot to wait 2 seconds before it starts doing anything. That way I'll have a chance to set it down on the floor before it starts rolling. And then I want to turn on the left motor. All right, I want to turn on the right motor. Let's do R motor. And if you write these slightly different, if you want to do them as like full sentences with capital letters and periods, you can. If you want to abbreviate it even more, feel free to do that. I'm going to have the bot drive forward for 5 seconds. I'm going to stop the left motor, stop the right motor. I'm going to pause for, I think we said we wanted to pause for 2.5 seconds. That's going to be its wait time. And I'm going to turn on left motor again. Put a little note here in parentheses. I don't even need to do it in parentheses. I want it to be in reverse. Okay, that's what's going to make it go backwards. I'm going to turn on my right motor in reverse. And I'm going to drive backwards for 5 seconds. And then I need to stop my left motor again. And I'll put my slashes in there. I need to stop my right motor. So this is all that pseudocode that we wrote down on our sheet of paper earlier in class when we discussed the complex tasks, the simple tasks, and then the simple behaviors. This is in real, like, plain spoken English to make our bot run forward for 5 seconds, stop, and then drive backwards in 5 seconds, kind of all the little things that need to happen. And you'll notice we've got tons of different sensors and stuff on the Swervebot. For this first program, we're really just concentrating on these first 2 motors here. Yeah. So now I'm going to come in, and for each line of pseudocode here, I'm going to put in an actual line of code. So this is where we're going to begin our coding experience, folks. And to do that, I'm going to come over here and I'm going to open up my natural language code by clicking that plus next to it. Yeah, all the commands we want to use, we're going to drag from this natural language menu, and we're going to drop over here in our coding environment. So for each line of pseudocode I've got, I want to find some sort of natural language code that's going to work for it. So first thing I want the robot to do is wait 2 seconds. So after we turn the Cortex on, I've got 2 seconds to set it down. So I'm going to come to my wait menu. I'll click the plus, and you can see I've got a wait in time. And if I hover it over that command, it tells me, try it again here. It's going to wait an amount of time measured in seconds. I've also got a milliseconds one. And so I'm just going to do the wait time in seconds. So I'm going to drag this over and I'll drop it in front of my 2 slashes for that first line of code. And I'm going to click the delete button just to bring my pseudocode for that command back here. So you can see it tells me in blue what the robot's going to do. It's going to wait. Then inside of these red parentheses is my variable. So I'm going to highlight wait time and I'm going to replace it with the number 2, right? Because over here in my pseudocode, I said I wanted to wait 2 seconds. And now I need to turn on my motor, right? And that's under movement. So I'm going to click on the plus button next to movement and I'm going to go to start motor. I'll drag this command over. And again, it puts my pseudocode down 1 line, so I'm going to bring that back. And so start motor shows up in blue. I've got 2 variables this time. I need to know which motor I want to start. I want to start my left motor. Now, up top here, I called it motor left. So I need to make sure that my, excuse me, that my name down here, when I'm calling for that motor to start, it matches up with what I put in my motor and sensor values. Okay, I could have called my left motor Bob. I could have called the right motor Timmy. I've just got to say down here that I want to start Bob, not Timmy, when I do this. Okay. The other option I've got, or the other variable I've got, is the speed of the motor. Vex motors will spin between a value of minus 127 and plus 127. Okay. The positive numbers think of as going forward. The minus numbers are reverse. So I'm going to set this for a speed of 64. We're going to go at half speed. So now I'm going to come down here. I'm going to drag my start motor command over. And I'll do the same thing, filling in my 2 variables. This time I'm going to start my motor right instead of motor left. And I'm going to run it at a speed of 64 as well because I want it to go straight. And now, as the robot reads this, it's just going to go line to line to line. So when I first turn it on, it's going to wait 2 seconds. It's going to start these motors up. And if I don't tell it to wait again, it's just immediately going to shut those motors off. So I'm going to come back to my wait one. I'll drag that wait command over. All right, this time, I want this bot to go for 5 seconds in the forward direction. Okay? Then I'm going to stop my motors. So I'm back to movement. I'm going to drag stop motor over. And I need to tell which motor I want to stop. I like working in the same direction each time. So I'm going to tell it to stop my left motor. I'm going to do something a little different now. I'm going to type in my code. I don't always need to drag and drop. I'm going to tell it to stop the right motor. I'm going to do the same thing here. I'm going to tell it I want it to wait. Right, this time for 2.5 seconds. I'll put my semicolon in there. And then I'm going to start motor. And I'm going to go motor left first. And this time, to make it go in reverse, I'm going to say I want to go at a speed of minus 64. Then I'm going to start motor. And this time I'm going to do my motor right. I'm going to go at a speed of minus 64 so that they match. I'll put my semicolon in. And then I need to put a wait command and again a couple of stop commands in down here. And so my timer tells me I'm running short on time. You guys finish that up and we'll talk about compiling and flashing this program to the bot in the next video.